Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's time for game 5 in this series between Complexity, Optic Zero, and Dignitas Select. And I just wanted to say, guys, that there's actually team names here. In fact, it's not really Complexity playing, but rather it's the Assassins. I just looked at the replay files that were sent to me and the email that was sent to me. And in fact, this team was called the Assassins. And this team with, or not this team was called the Assassins, and this team with Optic Zero and Select was actually called Sup Sons. So it is Sup Sons versus the Assassins. That makes it easier for me to, you know, instead of, I've been calling this the Sup Sons team this entire time, Dignitas Select and FXO Optic Zero. It's been really kind of tiring for my tongue to say the least, and I've been getting a little bit twisted here or there, but it is, now I can finally say they are Sup Sons versus Complexity, or versus the Assassins. I'll probably keep calling them Complexity because it's easier for me. But it looks like Optic Zero has switched over to Zerg here. Interesting, huh? So, whoa, and Cats has switched over to Protoss. I am very intrigued right now as to what the heck is going on. Am I watching the right? Is this the right replay? This is. Select is on the team of the Zerg, and Druby is on the team of the Protoss. So very, very interesting here. I wonder, maybe, you know, maybe Cats and Druby, I don't know all the background information on this, but maybe Cats and Druby decided, you know, this is a map where it would be favorable to wall off on. Zerg, you know, isn't the best simply because you are limited to one base on this map. If you are Zerg, you can't really grab that quick natural, so maybe it's best to play Protoss and play the wall game. And we'll see how Cat's Protoss is really, how good he is with Protoss. But then, why would Optic Zero opt to play Zerg? Your guess, guys, is as good as mine. I'm sure somebody out there has the answer, and we'll post it down below, and then it'll get like 50 million thumbs up. So yeah, that's awesome. Select here is going to be opening up this game with 2 barracks pressure. And Optic Zero has opened this game up with what seems to be a 10 pool here. So both of the players for Sup Sons are going to be going for some early aggression here, and they may be able to get by the tech lab or the bunker before it gets up. Here comes the Lings, not able to find an opening, but they will be able to do some serious damage to this reactor. Oh, the reactor is gonna fall, and this is bad news for Druby and Cats. Oh, the Assassins could go down here. Sup Sons making their way in. I can't keep calling them Sup Sons, but FXO Optic Zero and Dignitas Select able to break their way in here. In fact, it's just Optic Zero, not really Select. Select is a little late to the party, has his Marines coming out, but the 2 barracks pressure is a little bit later than you would imagine. But Optic Zero able to get inside the main, gonna do some damage to the probe line of Cats. I can't get over that. I'm calling Cats, you know, I'm saying the probe line of Cats. Cats is always Zerg. Doesn't make any sense. But oh, hello, here we have Select coming around the backside, but Cats wisely building a pylon in the back here, and that will be detected. The fact that the Marines are trying to break through those rocks. It looks like that last Zergling finally going down here, and Druby now quickly falling into the macro mode, chrono boosting out his forces. But these players have got to be careful because the destructible debris are going down, and I don't know what Assassins, what Complexity has to deal with this. Oh, this could be an upset here. This could be another loss for Complexity, for Assassins. But a quick bunker going up here for Druby. 2 bunkers, in fact. Really smart right there, realizing that, hey, these rocks are about to go down, and we're gonna need something to defend against that. And that's a lot of Lings for Optic Zero that he's pumping out right now. So I see now why he decided to switch to Zerg. Both players realizing, hey, we can't win a macro game. Let's just try to win right away, right here, right now. And their victory here solely rests on breaking down these rocks. And in fact, they get right through the mineral line. Oh, they're gonna be able to do so much damage. Not the mineral line, but they're able to get right past the ramp. And the Lings are able to get inside the main of Cats. Cats here in serious trouble. Select and Druby duking it out here with their own Marines, but it looks like the entire mineral line has been ravaged by Optic Zero Zerglings, and the Zerglings are going to be able to kill off Druby's SCVs as well, and this could be another win for the Assassins, for Optic Zero, and for and for the other player, I already forgot his name, but this could be a win here for Optic Zero and Select, that's what it is. Druby here trying to scramble his SCVs and his Marines to defend his own mineral line. Thankfully, he has some SCVs and Marines still alive. Cats here was able to save some of his probes here, and now that his Warp Gate technology is out, he will be able to bring out some additional reinforcements, but we have a serious brawl just all over the map here. Oh no, the pylon going down for Cats. That means he will not be able to warp in additional reinforcements, save for his one gateway at the front door. But he has some forces right now. Will he be able to hold this off using the Guardian Shield, trying to save the Sentry in the back? The Sentry stays alive. That was huge. That Sentry applying 2 additional armor for all these forces right here, and that is so big. That's able to push these Marines all away. Brilliant control right there. But all the meanwhile, Optic Zero coming in here with Morlings, just destroying the mineral line of Druby. Druby now at a devastating 11 harvester count, but at the same time, so is Optic Zero, only at 10. But Select, man, is the power horse of this game. He has 22 SCVs. He is going to be the dominant player for the rest of this game, I would imagine, unless something horrible happens to his mineral line. It does look like Druby and Cats may be preparing for a push out here, and for some reason, they actually have the larger army supply. That's kind of intriguing. They're at 25 plus 41, 27 plus 41, and they are going to be pushing out here with a sizable army of Marines, Stalkers, Zealots, and whatever you have. And this could actually do some serious damage. Select now the one who's forced to throw bunkers up, and this is a tricky situation. Optic Zero, I would argue, you know, maybe just go for a base trade with your Lings, because you're not going to be able to do that much here with just pure Zerglings. And oh my god, now Select, that horrible thing I was talking about with those SCVs, it is going to happen. He's forced to fight with SCVs, and so many SCVs here are going to go down. Watch that SCV count just fall. It's just going to plummet. And now Select is the one with the minimum amount of workers. And wow, both these players just going at it. All 4 of these players just going at it. Optic Zero trying to get us around here against Cats' Stalkers. Will he be able to do it? Select coming in here with Marines as well, and that will push Cats to the corner, and Cats has nowhere to fall back to, and ends up losing those 3 Stalkers, but extracting the most use out of them as he's microing them around the map, doing the little merry-go-round trick here, and trying to keep them alive for as long as possible. So not bad there by Cats. Finally loses the last Stalker. Brilliant control by all these players. And at this point, it's really hard to tell who's ahead because, you know, I was going to say Select's team with Optic Zero, they had the advantage because Select had so many SCVs, but now that he's lost a significant portion of them, I don't know. This is a tough game to call, guys. It looks like they are going to take down the gold immediately here, and we'll see who decides to get that expansion. Yeah, Select is going to go for the gold. So that's great and dandy at all, but now what about Optic Zero? He's only going to have 1 base. He has a very small amount of drones, and you know, a Zerg on 1 base is pretty useless in the mid game. For obvious reasons. They just need more bases, they need more income, and you know, I would argue that's going to put Select and Optic Zero at a somewhat of a deficit, and so they realize that they're going to try to push in here and do as much damage as possible in the early game before it goes to the mid game. They break down the bunker immediately, but Druby with a large pack force of Marines in the back, and with the Sentry warping in here, I don't think Select and Optic Zero want to press their luck here, not against that many Sentries, and oh, thankfully they're able to get a lot of those Marines out before they got locked in by the force fields. That could have been pretty devastating right there. But more Marines. A little attack squad here of 3 Marines running behind the mineral line. And that's going to force Cats to pull his forces back. But I like the pressure that Optic Zero and Select are applying here, but trying to test the front door, not able to do it. Druby not falling for any of these antics, keeps his Marines at the front door. But yeah, I really like the play style that Select and Optic Zero are employing here. They're trying to be aggressive. They're trying to keep Cats and Druby on their toes, not allowing them to get into their element. But their aggression in the early game definitely worked, but now that it's in the mid game, it's going to be much harder to pull off. And I'm not sure what Optic Zero can do. It looks like he's going to go straight into layer off of 1 base along with Baneling's Nest. So we may actually have some kind of a delayed mid-game Baneling bust here for Optic Zero, but he just doesn't quite have the gas to support Banelings at this point. I would almost say, you know, ask Select here for gas so you can make some more Banelings. But yeah, this is pretty pretty bad situation, I would say, for Optic Zero and Select, although they do have the gold. But it does look like Druby and Cats now are going to get their own gold. So really interesting game right here. But like I said before, the weak link in this game I feel like is the Zerg. He has the least amount of economy. But we'll see what happens. Those Banelings can certainly do a lot of damage, and oh, Optic Zero here may be able to get a run in, but oh, beautiful Sim City by Cats. That's going to make it very difficult for any forces to, any Lings to come in here, but hello, here we go. Optic Zero getting a decent surround with his Lings, but decides to fall back. That's too many forces, and will Select and Optic Zero be able to hold here? They're going to need a lot more Banelings in order to do it. And oh my god, Druby and Cats may be able to just run right into the main. Force field's getting laid down. Here comes Optic Zero trying to find an area where he can get his Banelings in there, but he really doesn't have that many. And oh my god, an entire wall of force fields allows Druby and Cats to get right into the main undeterred. And all these forces trying to get back up here, but the force fields, man, they are keeping this army at bay. And finally, Select able to get in here with his Marines and Marauders. The Banelings still stuck in the background. Oh my goodness, all the infrastructure of Select meanwhile just taking a beating. And it looks like a couple Banelings. Will they be able to hit their marks? No, they are not. Oh! Yes, they do! And Select and Optic Zero able to hold on. That last Baneling was seriously money. There's no other way, and there's no two ways about that, no other way to describe that Baneling. That was a hero Baneling, and was definitely pivotal in the survival of Optic Zero and Select of Team Assassins here. And they retain control over the gold, but at what cost? Losing the gold, losing the main for Select here, losing several buildings worth of infrastructure. Those take time to rebuild. And losing, I would say, a lot of harvesters as well is both these players. So I don't know, definitely a tough situation. Cats and Druby now with control of the gold, wisely building a planetary, realizing that hey, most attacks here are going to go through this section, this corridor, and a planetary will basically stabilize them for the entire mid game. But it looks like Optic Zero here going to try to bypass that, running in with Lings through the back door, and encounters the Sim City Fortress, and those Lings are absolutely denied. Once again, a great building placement by Cats. Showing that, hey, he's a pretty good Protoss player after all, and he is going to go for a Dark Shrine. Here we go, once again an attack by Select, trying to bust through the front door. What a back and forth game of StarCraft 2 between both these players. Dropship is going to go down! That's a pretty big blow. Now those Marines and Marauders will not be able to be healed. They are in the orange and red. And what about that Dark Shrine that is coming up? Cats here is going to try to go for the sneaky MacDeezy. He's going to go straight into Dark Templar play. Select does have 2 orbitals though, so he should have Comsat here or there to scan for the Zerg and for himself. And of course Optic Zero does have the layer up, so he will be able to make Overseers if he can get some gas going, man. He needs gas and he needs it bad. But first off, he needs drones. He's still on 13 drones, guys. That's just an abysmal, appalling amount of income. And oh no, the rocks here under attack by Druby. Druby will be able to break right into the Zerg main here, and I don't know if Team Assassins even realizes this. Uh-oh. And Druby here is going to be able to break right through the rocks. This could be pretty devastating. And it looks like Dark Templars are now on their way as well. And here comes the Protoss. Cats here is going to push right into the main of Optic Zero. Optic Zero and Select quickly mobilizing their forces. But all the meanwhile, DTs are running their way into the main. It looks like Select will be able to clean this up pretty easily. But in the meanwhile, the DTs are doing some serious damage to the economy, and more DTs coming in to attack the main army, and now Select will have to prioritize his Comsat energy, which it doesn't look like he has enough of. Oh no! Dropping 1 Comsat here to deal with the Dark Templar, but all the meanwhile losing some serious harvesters at the main, and finally getting enough energy for 1 more Comsat, dropping it down. Thank goodness he had enough energy for another one there. But the attacks continue coming, and Select and both Select and Optic Zero just their base looks rattered and tattered right now. There's still a Dark Templar in there doing what it can do. Thankfully, like I said, Optic Zero getting that Overseer, so we'll be able to clear that up. But this game is getting kind of bleak, guys, for this team, for Team Assassins. Complexity or Complexity Druby and Complexity Optic Zero, or not Optic Zero, but Complexity Cats are doing such a great job right now. I'm not entirely sure what Select and Optic Zero can do at this point, but they are going to make one more concerted push, one more effort here, and hey, that isn't a planetary, it is actually an orbital, but a couple of DTs here, dropping the scan, really smart right there. Oh my god, Select may have enough forces to do some serious damage here, forcing Druby to pull SCVs off the line. Where's his teammate at? But it doesn't look like Druby needs help right now. He's got a pretty good marine control here. Gonna be able to stay away from the banelings, and it looks like another Dark Templar coming in for Cats, and that should be able to ward away this push. So pretty awesome play by both these players. Once again, Druby dropping off Marines into the main of Optic Zero, halting all mining. Cats is coming in with DTs as well, and this entire time that Select and Optic Zero are dealing with the attacks abroad, they have to worry about their main and their mineral lines. Even the expansion of Optic Zero is under attack by Dark Templar, and things are getting bad for this team. They're scrambling to keep their bases alive, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Druby and Cats assuming control of this game, denying expansion after expansion, and keeping their opponents on their toes. Great play right here so far by Complexity. I think I might have been calling this entire time, I might have been calling the wrong team Team Assassins, but whatever. It's Complexity, and it is Select and Optic Zero. And it almost certainly looks like we may have one last push from Select and from his teammate to make this happen, but I don't know if they've got enough to do it now that Cats has Psionic Storm. That is just going to melt these Marines in conjunction with the Dark Templar. It is just going to rip through them, and I'm not sure what they can do at this point. It's just going to be one last push here. The Zerg player is all but out of it. He's just making a couple of lings here or there to help with this last push. Oh, he's got one baneling. There you are. Rolling, 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 rolling. And here we go. Oh, picks off the DTs, or the high temps pretty easily. The baneling goes in there, not able to do that much damage at all. But the Marine's able to kill off the Nexus, so not a bad blow here for Select, able to do some pretty good damage. Not too shabby at all, but they still have gotten no way to deal with this massive army in the middle of high-tier, high-gas units coming from Cats. And these Marines, like I said before, I think they're just gonna melt unless Select can get some ghosts out right now. That would be really good. But I don't know if he's got the infrastructure to support ghosts. So this game is now 25 minutes in. No quite clear victory yet for either team, but like I said before, guys, that snowball effect building up for Cats, building up for Druby, and I think it's just going to be moments here before they assume victory of this game. Cats and Druby both with very large armies in the middle of the map. It looks like, oh no, Optic Zero has to pull drones now. It's pretty much all he's got. He doesn't have enough money to build a hatchery. In fact, there's a Dark Templar slashing his lair right now. So essentially, he's just got a couple banelings, a couple drones. Oh, hello, Archon. All right, one last battle. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's gonna come down to those banelings. If they can hit the Marines, that would be pretty money. Oh, but Optic Zero getting a little bit ahead of himself. And baneling getting a little bit of damage off. Oh my goodness, a storm just destroying the Marines. And I don't know whose Marines those ended up killing. Almost looked like it was friendly fire there, but oh, there we go. Beautiful storm. Good dodge though by Select. And he's gonna be able to ferry his units away from the storm, but at what cost? It's gonna be a GG here, and Select calls GG, well played. Optic Zero calls GG, and that is the end of the Prodigy Team Star League Grand Finals. So Complexity able to take this away. What a brilliant game of series of games of StarCraft by all these players. And in fact, it was Druby and Cats who were the assassins, so I might have mixed that up for a portion of this game, so I do apologize. But wow, I'm so tired after casting this series of games. This last game, 27 minutes, but an awesome one at that. And look at that, Select had a little dropship ready to go here. He was about to attack this little command center. But really good games by all these players, and I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. So if you guys want to see more awesome StarCraft 2 content, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you guys can find me also on Facebook. Click the link down below. If you guys have more replays to send in to me, check it out. I have the replay link down below. Just click that, and or just email any awesome pro game replays to me, and I'll make sure to get around to casting those. So thanks a lot once again, all of you guys, for tuning in. What an awesome 2v2 series of games these were, and if you guys have more 2v2s, you know, I'm always down to do them. I will be doing pro games, I'll be doing 2v2s, I will be doing HD ladder games, I'll be doing everything under the sun for you guys out there who are watching. And once again, thanks all for tuning in. This is HD, signing out.